Hey, audiobook lovers, welcome back to Audiobooks Reviewed. I'm going to pick a topic and choose 3 audiobooks that I've listened to in the past. I'll give my honest feedback and rate them in the end. Today's category is Fictional Drama, and I'm reviewing Replay by Ken Grimwood, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, and The Hike by Drew McGarry. So the first book is Replay. The book runtime is 11 hours and 26 minutes. And if it were a movie, I would rate it R. Replay is probably one of the better books that I read in a while. The plot starts off pretty simple as well. The setting takes place in the 80s and there's a dude hard at work. He's 38, slightly overweight, and out the blue he has a heart attack and supposedly dies. Well, the same dude wakes up, not dead, but was sent 20 years back in the past. He's now 18 in a college dorm from the 60s. After getting over the initial shock, he does what I think a lot of people would do. In fact, I think I even saw it in Back to the Future Part 2. With all your knowledge of the future, find a way to build a financial empire. And he did just that. For example, he met Steve Jobs and Wozniak while they were still in the garage and built a partnership with their little Apple project. Knowing he had a heart attack in his 30s, he took better care of his body, worked out more, ate healthier, the whole thing. And with that said, he reached the same age as before, had a heart attack, died, and woke up 20 years in the past, again. So like I said, the story starts off with me knowing exactly what I would do with the second chance. But what happens when you get that chance?
Again, and again, and again.
What would you do? Rebuild your empire over and over again? Me not having a clue is part of the reason why I love this book. I rate it a 10 out of 10. The second book is The Handmaid's Tale. The book runtime is 12 hours and 6 minutes, and if it were a movie, I would rate it R. The Handmaid's Tale is a very popular book, now with the TV show adaptation on Hulu. Currently on season 4, it must be widely accepted by many to be a great story. I, however, am not one of them. I honestly don't get what the hype is all about. Maybe the show is much better than the book, or maybe it's just not my cup of tea. Full disclosure, I tried watching the series after reading the book, but I couldn't make it past the first episode. But of course, I'm only here to review the audiobook. So I could not get into it. I finished it only because I have a personal goal to finish books that I start. I can say that off the bat, my issue isn't with the particular character or the suspense. It's the believability of the story from the beginning. It's a dystopian world where women have their powers as modern women in society relinquished, and everything they can and can't do is under the wills of men. Mothers are ripped away from their children, and some women are forced to be used as simply birthing vessels, amongst other things. Of course, the main character fights and struggles for her once established individuality and freedom. And like I said, I couldn't wrap my head around it. The society before this new order wasn't any different from the society you know now, minus a major epidemic of babies not being born. That means they had modern working women with equal rights and in important positions and the whole thing. And yet the new order didn't come from invading aliens or another country, but simply laws that were changed and evolved into women losing all the rights that they've earned. I would feel the same way if there was a book where the laws found a way for Black people to relinquish their rights and go back into slavery. It's too unbelievable of a concept for me to wrap my head around. Just like how I feel Blacks would fight tooth and nail to ever avoid such a fate, I think women would do the same. As far as the conclusion, I'm not going to say much about it except for the fact that I don't think there was much of one. So I'll rate this book a 5 out of 10. The third book is The Hike. The book runtime is 8 hours and 4 minutes. And if it were a movie, I would rate it PG-13. The Hike is a modern day epic. It reminds me of something like the Dark Side of the Moon album from Pink Floyd, where you're pretty sure some other stuff is going on behind the scenes.
Is this weed?
What?
You got a prescription for this?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where's it?
It's
Where?
The story starts off super simple. A man goes out of town on a business trip and takes a hike on the trail next to the bed and breakfast that he's staying in. The hike should take less than an hour, but it's the proverbial rabbit hole or Twilight Zone entry that leads to one unbelievable encounter to the next. His quest is to make it back home, which proves to be more and more difficult as the time passes. I would say that this is a pretty good story as long as you don't take it too seriously. Just like in The Dark Side of the Moon, where you accept the random screams and airplanes as part as the artistic process, same here. The book will definitely send you on a wild ride, but I think the story remains to be entertaining as you try to figure out where they're going with it and wonder how the heck this dude is going to make it back home. I rate this book a 7 out of 10. Well, that's all I have for now. If you agree or disagree with any of the statements, feel free to comment in the section below, and also subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. Bye for now.